All right, I'm gonna tell y'all about the time that my ex-boyfriend cheated on me, and in turn, I ended up saving somebody's life. Weird, I know, but literally, I'm just making tomato and toast. I just love tomatoes, and I love bread, and together the combo was amazing. But I forgot my olive oil. But anyways, so, yeah, my ex at the time, you know, we had been dating probably about, I think at this point we were in it for over a year. I think close to almost 2 years, something like that. Anywho, one night, I'm supposed to be picking him up from work, which at the time he did part-time working as a bouncer at this bar that I used to bartend at. Funny, that's how we met, of course. You should have known. That's not where you meet your husband. It's not at the bar. I'll tell you that. But anywho, did somebody pull in? I don't know. Maybe a customer came. No, I don't think so. But, so I go to pick him up, and it's like late, you know. He's like, I actually got out early, so I was like, okay, bet. He's like, but I'm gonna have a drink with some of the guys. So I was like, okay, no problem. I was with my homegirl anyway, so it's no big deal. And then I texted him that I was like, hey, I'm on the way, because I was getting tired, like, it was getting late, I was ready to go home. And he didn't respond, but that was okay, because, like, obviously, like, I pull up there whenever. It's no big deal. Well, tell me why, when I pulled up, this motherfucker is making out with another female. I don't want to degrade her, because honestly, she was just the slime of the town anyways, but anywho, I was kind of, like, shocked. Hold on. Dang, I saw a cop slowing down. I didn't even do nothing. I thought I was in trouble. But anywho. And normally, I would beat the fuck out of somebody, but like for some reason I think I was in such shock that I literally had my jaw on the floor, turned around and went straight to my car, got in and just started speeding. Like I just started driving because I was like, I need to get the fuck out of there. And I think my mind was just going crazy. Like I couldn't believe what I had just seen. He's blowing up my phone. I'm not answering. Like it really, really did suck because, like, I genuinely thought I was in love with that fucking dirt, whatever. Anyways, so, and, like, for it to be heard, bro, like, not trying to be like that, but it's just, like, come on. Not that it should be any female. It's just, the disrespect was just crazy. So, anywho, he's blowing me up. I'm not answering. I decide to go. I take a route home that I normally never take. And as I'm driving, I get around this corner, there's this bend, and you know, like the telephone poles and all the lines and stuff, well, it's in the road, and all these wires are like in the road. It looked like a fucking movie scene, and this car is on this front lawn, upside down, like on its head, engulfed in flames. But get this, the power lines are so close to the flame, I'm freaking out, because I'm like, dude, if that catches fire, we're fucked, and it's on both sides. So I immediately just go spring into action. I call 911. I let them know that they need to bring ambulances, but they got to come on both sides, and fire trucks, because this power line is so close to this fire that, like, I'm not really sure what's going to happen. And then I think there's a customer coming. Yeah. So, and then I rush over to the house that the car is on, because it's on the lawn so close to this house that I don't know what the hell is going to happen. Hold on. So as I was saying, I go to their house, I wake them up. It was crazy because you would have thought with that accident that you would have heard this commotion, but nobody was awake. Nobody even knew. So I ran to that house, woke them up, because obviously there's got to be somebody in the vehicle, in the burning vehicle. But at that time, I was just trying to get everybody situated before, because I didn't know if that fucking car was going to explode or not, or what the hell was going to happen. So I told them, and then I ran straight to that car. I'm screaming because I looked around the vehicle and I didn't see any body, like a body anywhere, like potentially if they got ejected out the vehicle or anything. And I'm screaming, and it's so fucking hot, so hot. And so I'm yelling, and finally, like, I could see somebody in the car, and I just go in and just fucking yank him out, and I drag him out, and I don't know, honestly, like, that moment I blacked out because it was so fucking hot, and like so much was happening. My adrenaline was pumping, and all I knew is I had to get that guy out of the car. I got him out the fucking car, and then I'm yelling at him because he's disoriented, obviously. I'm like, is there anybody else? Is there anybody else? I can't really see, like, well in that car. It's so fucking engulfed in flames. And he's like, what's going on? What's going on? He's like, no, nobody else is with me. I'm like, are you sure? Because I'm scared. Like, what if there's a kid or something? And then finally the cops come. He's trying to come to. All these neighbors come out, ambulance, fire trucks, everybody's there. And then basically they all like applaud me. They're like, you honestly just saved this man's life, because he knocked out in that accident, and he would have asphyxiated from the smoke or burned alive. So neither one was great. But I say that to say this, it's just crazy that like when I was driving and thinking about what I had just seen and like everything I had felt, like I genuinely felt like my entire world ended when that happened with my ex. And after that situation, it made me realize that like life is truly so precious, and that no matter the heartbreak or anything, there is more to come. There's always something to look forward to. So even if like somebody hurts you or whatever, like it's not the end, it's never the end. And you always have something to learn and gain from your experiences. And so yeah, that encounter actually really did change my life. In many ways, like my perspective on things. Because after that happened, obviously I didn't know the guy, I didn't know anything. I just gave them my info and I left, like my statement and everything. And about a month or two later, I remember it was December. And at the time, I did pizza delivery as a part-time job. And so I was delivering, and I get to the house, whatever, and this guy answers the door, and he looks familiar, but I don't realize I recognize him. And then he looks at me, he's like, hey, are you so-and-so? And I was like, yeah, like, do I know you? And he goes, you're the one that actually saved my life. He's like, I had a seizure while I was driving, and that's how the accident happened. And he's like, and if you weren't there, I would have died. And I was like I have goosebumps even when I tell the story still, like, and think about it. But he was like, thanked me, tried to repay me, whatever. I said, no, actually, like, you were a gift too in disguise. You just don't know it. But yeah, so take everything with a grain of salt, and life is never over. It is quite precious. And go and fucking experience all of life, all of it, the good, bad, the ugly, everything.
Story time of how I walked in on my ex cheating on me on my birthday. Yes, my birthday. I waited years to make this video, and I finally can, so let's just get into it. So I went to LSU and I was dating this football player. I was with this person for almost 3 years. My ex was a serial cheater. All you had to do was have a vagina and he was in there. But I didn't know this. So when we first got together, my delusional he loves me. Best friend, he told me he loved me. Oh, he brought me Chick-fil-A. That's how it was. Like the first few months, I was on cloud 9. He had a lot of issues going on, and there was a lot of red flags that should have made me leave him. But I was like, no, I gotta thug this out. I gotta be with this man. I didn't know about the cheating, but I did know about the meanness. He was very mean to me. But I noticed these little switch ups would happen out of nowhere. And ladies, I want to tell y'all, when a man does this, when a man flips his mood at you, when he starts being mean to you, that means he doesn't like you. That means he's looking for a reason to take out unnecessary emotion that has nothing to do with you. And 10 times out of 10, they're always going to make up a situation, pin out the littlest detail that you did. Maybe you use this makeup brush and not the other brush. Whatever it is, it's a randomizer to have an excuse to treat you the way they really want to treat you. But let's keep going. So time goes by. My birthday is March. The draft is April. I was doing everything for him and his family, his planning. He doesn't do anything for my birthday planning, but luckily I already have a trip planned to go to Vegas with me and my girls. So the day of my birthday comes and we sitting in the bed, bro, not talking about no plans. I'm like, oh, we could go to New Orleans. Maybe we could go grab a drink. We could go on a cute dinner date. This LSU starting football player tells me that he don't got it. I said, don't got what? Time? He said, no money. So I'm like, okay, baby. He bought me a bottle of Crown Apple, and I was downstairs watching Twilight by myself while he was upstairs playing the game. He hated me. But dealing with this man, I kept a lot of things to myself. He would go off on me, kept it to myself. Him snapping on me randomly, keep it to myself. He dealing with his mama, keeping it to myself. I cannot believe I had this kind of birthday, but thank God my flight was in a few hours so I could catch a flight to Vegas and have fun with my girls. He was at my house while I was away. But I noticed when I called him when I landed, when I'm checking in with him the next day, he would seem a little annoyed. He would seem very dry. So now Jenna's in kiss up mode. What did Jenna do wrong? Can we talk it out? What's going on? The girls and I was at dinner and I was scrolling on Twitter. I saw that LSU was having a family feud with Southern on LSU's campus. Everybody was going to be there. I'm like, okay, perfect. I sent him the flyer and he said, I'm not going to that. I remember asking him, why don't you want to go? Jenna, I'm done with you. I don't have to explain anything to you. And am I missing something right here? Am I missing? Is there a page I didn't flip? What the fart knuckles? When I tell you this man went off, me sending him a Twitter flyer resulted into us breaking up. Yes, we broke up. Next thing you know, I'm blocked. I texted my roommate. I said, hey, is old boy there? She said, nah, friend. And your key on your nightstand too. Mind you, this is our very first argument. I told y'all everything was good up until this point. So baffled at the fact that us breaking up came from me asking why he doesn't want to go to a college family feud. And if you know, you know, when you arguing with your man on your birthday, that whole birthday is over with. Come here. Ladies, I'm going to tell you two things. Men with low ego and low self-esteem and men who just want to control women, make sure to do their biggest one on a day that's just about them. Birthday celebration, a self-accomplishment. Whatever it is, he hates you and he doesn't respect you. He does that because on your day that's so big, he wants you to make him feel good. And you always make him feel good by saying, baby, why weren't you there? Baby, why are you asking like this? Don't fall for it. Run away. Swim away. Get off the flight. I come home. All his stuff is packed. My key is indeed on that nightstand. I'm calling both the phones. I'm kissing up to him. I'm trying to make him feel special. It's a long travel day. 12 a.m. at this point, baby. I get in my bed and I go to sleep until it's 6 a.m. in the morning and I get waken up to a phone call from his mother. Go to part 2.
Since you guys love my story times so much, I'm going to tell you guys another story time on when my boyfriend ended up cheating on me with my best friend. So a little backstory on how me and her met. We actually met in high school. We both attended a continuation teen mom school, and that's where we met. She was one of my best friends in high school. So yeah, that's kind of how we met. Like I've mentioned, she was my best friend in high school, so I would tell her pretty much everything. So I had told her about this guy that I started dating her and kind of how me and him met. And she would always tell, like every single time that I would vent to her about my boyfriend, she would always call him a lowlife, a jailbird, and pretty much like good for nothing type of guy, right? And I would always like, no, like, you know, he just needs some time. Again, going through this story, like, I'm gonna expose how dumb I was, how stupid I was. You can obviously tell that my frontal lobe was not developed because thinking about the story, I'm like, damn, I was literally stupid. Okay, so I'm gonna expose how dumb I was. So the reason why she will call him a lowlife and a good for nothing, it's because, let me tell you how me and him met. So me and this other friend both went on a double date with him and some other guy. Not really a double date for them. They were friends. They knew each other from high school. They were both older than me. So I've always hung around with older people. So they were both way older than me. And they were gonna pretty much like hang out, and then she didn't want to hang out with him by herself, so she invited me and he invited another friend. So red flag number 1, when he came to pick me up from my house, he came and picked me up in a van, and not your typical van. It was a van, those type of vans that you kind of stay away from because you feel like you're gonna get kidnapped if you get too close to them, like those like painter vans. That's the type of van he picked me up. That was his car, his vehicle, okay? When I get into the van, immediately his friend is trying to get all up on me. Mind you, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know these guys, But I got in the car with him, and thinking about it, I'm so stupid. Like, anything could have happened to me, but I was so naive. I don't fucking know. So I get in the car with these two guys. His friend immediately tried to touch on me, tried to kiss me. I don't know who this guy is. I'm just meeting him. And this guy is trying to like hug me and kiss me and touch me, and I just feel disgusted. And I would tell him like, hey, can you tell your friend to keep his hands off me? Like, he's not leaving me alone. I honestly just want to go back home. And he's like, no, like, I don't want you to go back home. He even told his friends like, leave her alone. Or I'm going to take you home, telling him that, like, he's going to take his friend home if he doesn't stop. So I ended up sitting in the passenger seat with him. My friend still wasn't in the car with us, okay? So he picked me up first, because I guess he was closer to me, and then we were going to go to pick up my friend, okay? So then I'm sitting in the passenger seat. He's driving. There's no seats in the back. So my date was sitting in a fucking tire. Okay, that is red flag number 2. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm thinking. Like, I'm literally exposing myself. And we go pick up my friend. We go to his cousin's like house, and we're all just kumbaya. We're drinking, we're having a good time, and it was time for us to all go home. So then I remember my friend went to the restroom. Mind you, they were not on a date. They were just like catching up. They were friends from high school. Me and this other guy were supposed to be on a date, but I wasn't even talking to him for the remainder of the night because he was just weird. He wouldn't leave me alone. He was just on he was on something else. Okay. So then me and my friend goes actually to the restroom, and this guy's the one that picked me up in his van. He starts talking to me. He's like, hey, like, you know, you're really pretty. I want to get to know you a little bit more. And I'm like, yeah, like, what are you and my friend? Like, I don't even know what's really going on. She never told me about you. This is the first time I've heard about you. And he's like, yeah, I just got out of jail. Red flag number 3. And, you know, me and her are just catching up. Like, me and her are just friends. Then I end up talking to my friend, and they're like, yeah, me and him are just friends and nothing more. So I was like, cool. Then me and him can start talking. So once I gave him the green flag, like, yeah, I mean, we can start getting to know each other. He ends up dropping off his friend first, and then he ended up dropping off my friend. And then from my friend's house to my house, he ended up taking the back road so that me and him can get to know each other a little bit more. Okay. Until he runs out of gas. Thankfully, the car, he was able to turn in the car. He was able to turn on the van, and it gave us a little push to get to the gas station. Okay, well, I wasn't working. I didn't have a bank account under my name. Okay, so the gas station was not open 24 hours, and the only way of getting gas is with a card because there's nobody there to accept the cash. He was just out of jail, so he had no bank account, and I only had $20 to my name, but cash, because again, I wasn't even working. I had no job or anything like that. So we're stuck. We're stuck at a gas station at like 1 in the fucking morning, right? And he finally gets a hold of somebody to come help us pump gas. But that was 2 hours later. So it was already 3 in the morning at this time. So we obviously got to know each other pretty well. And that night he ended up asking me out. And I said yes. I don't know, and don't judge me. I don't know why I said yes after having all these fucking red flags. Again, I was blind and I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay. So then me and this guy end up dating for the total of 2 years, right? 2-3 years, something like that. He goes back to jail. Okay. And my friend, again, I tell my friend, like, I know, I'm crying to her, like, oh, he went back to jail. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And my friend's like, you're so dumb. Like, you deserve better. Like, he's just a jailbird. He keeps going in and out of jail. He doesn't have a job. He can't even hold a job. He has a van as a vehicle that doesn't fit nobody in the back, and just people pretty much sitting. He's just riding around his van with people sitting on tires in the back. Like, he's a nobody. Like, I don't know why you're wasting your time on him. Right. Okay. So then I ended up finding out that he's cheating on me while he's in jail. And I'm not saying all men, but these men in jail are gonna talk to you how you want them to talk to you because they want monies on their books. So there's this girl that wouldn't leave me alone, and she'd be like, yeah, like, your man wants me, da 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 da. And obviously she was sending him money. So I was kind of tired of the cheating, and I ended up breaking up with him. Fast forward, me and my best friend, we graduated high school, living our best life. We're having this amazing summer, and I ended up getting a text message that he got out of jail. And so then my dumbass, like, hey, like, we should meet up and talk because we left on bad terms, and I don't want to leave on bad terms with you and whatnot. So dumb. So then me and him ended up getting back together that night that we ended up talking. And yeah. So then during this time, I already graduated high school. I had a job. I had a car. So I was working at 2 different cities at this time. Okay, I was working where I live. One of them was about 45 minutes away from me, and then the other one was about 20 minutes away from me. So every time I worked at the city that was 20 minutes away from me, he would just drop me off and take my car. And that's where everything went downhill. Story time on how my boyfriend cheated on me with my best friend, part 2. So I never gave my friends a name, and I'm going to go ahead and give them names because I don't want the story to get confusing later on. So the friend that introduced us together, the one that we went on a double date, we're going to call her Cynthia, okay? The friend that I would vent to and the one that would talk so much crap about him and say that he's a lowlife, a jailbird and whatnot, we're going to call her Amanda. So it's all 2 different people. I don't know if you guys caught on to that. But Cynthia, Amanda, and me, we were all friends. We were a group in high school. So then I also forgot to mention that prior to my boyfriend getting out of jail, me and Amanda had a fallout. So Cynthia had a fallout with Amanda. That's another story for another day, but it wasn't a big fallout because we still followed each other on social media. We just weren't talking as much anymore. So fast forward to my boyfriend getting out of jail. He made an Instagram, and one of the first people he followed was her. I didn't think much of it, but I was kind of confused on why he followed her because he didn't personally, like, they never met in person. He didn't personally know her. He knew of her because he knew that was my friend. Okay, that's the only, they never knew each other. So I thought it was weird that he didn't follow Cynthia, that was his friend from like childhood, but he followed Amanda. So yeah, but I was like, there's no way that she would do anything crazy behind my back because 1, we were friends for years, our kids are friends. 2, she would talk so much things about him, so like I didn't think that she was even interested in him. And 3, like, she was dating her son's dad, like she was in a relationship with her son. They were a family, so like I didn't think much of it. I'm like, whatever, I let it go. I didn't make it a big issue. So then like I mentioned in part 1, he would drop me off at work. When I was working close from home, he would drop me off at work and he would take my car. I started noticing a few things when he would pick me up. Like, my passenger seat was always to the back. You know how a guy sits back? But then I started noticing that my chair was moved forward, as in like a girl was sitting there. Okay, I started noticing bottles in my car. I started noticing like other things in my car. So I'm like, this is weird. Like, I'm not going to work and then coming back to like my car being a mess. Like, you just party, you lived it up while I was, working. So things like that started causing us to argue. And he would tell me that he'll need the car because he'll need to go look for a job and whatnot. It's like, I feel bad. I'm like, yeah, I want to support you. I want to make sure that you get a job and whatnot. During this time, he was hanging out with a friend that I also knew from school. So he would just blame it on them. He was like, it was him and his girlfriend. They were drinking in the back. I gave them rides to X, Y, and Z and whatnot. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So During this time, we also were arguing a lot. For any little thing, we will argue, and then we will go hours without talking. And I feel like he purposely was doing that so that we would not talk for hours, because according to him, he needed space. Okay. So then, so here is like a few days later, I am heading to work in my car. I was scheduled to work about 45 minutes away from my home, so I took my car to work. And I ended up getting an hour into my shift, I end up getting a DM on Instagram from her boyfriend, her son's dad, her baby daddy, whatever you want to consider him. And in the message it goes, "Hey, are you still dating?" And I instantly had, like, my stomach started hurting. Like, I felt so sick when I got that message. And I ended up going on my break early, because I'm like, I need to figure this out. Like, why is this man hitting me up, you know? And so then I respond back, and I'm like, yeah, we're still together. And he's like, I need you to call me. And I immediately call him right away, and he pretty much just tells me that he just ended up finding out a few hours ago that she's cheating on him with my boyfriend. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, I was just with him in the morning. He's like, yeah. And then he started explaining to me, like, do you have, like, he started describing my car. And I'm like, yeah, that's my car. He was like, yeah, that's the car that he will pick her up at her house. And I was like, I knew there was another girl in my car. Like, I just had a feeling. So yeah, so he would use my car to go pick her up so they can hang out. When we would argue, he would use that as an excuse so that I wouldn't be calling him when he was with her, as in he needs a break. He would call me when he's ready to talk about, you know, and fix our problems or whatever issue we had going on. And I was like, there's no way. So I immediately hang up the phone with him, and I call my boyfriend, and I'm blowing him up. He doesn't answer. Finally, after the third, fourth call, someone picks up, and I hear a lot of rumbling in the back. And I'm like, hello. And then she says hello. And I'm like, who's this? Obviously, I knew who it was, but I just needed her to say, it's me. You know, it's me, Amanda. And they hang up on the phone. I'm texting him. I'm going off. And he finally answers again after blowing him up. And, well, he doesn't answer. She answers. And she's like, hello. And I'm like, who is this? Like, why are you answering his phone? I'm calling him, not you. Like, who is this? He's like, this is Amanda, and I'm letting you know that he's no longer your boyfriend. He's mine. And she hangs up the phone. I was so devastated because, like, I didn't want to believe, even though all the signs were there, like, I didn't want to believe it. And I'm like, there's no fucking way. Like, there's no way. So then, fast forward, not even like a few months in, she ends up getting pregnant by him. And the story doesn't end there, because I think she was maybe halfway through her pregnancy, and he reaches out to me through Instagram. Story time on when my boyfriend cheated on me with my best friend, part 3. So I had left off in the previous video that she ended up getting pregnant by him. Obviously I was like devastated during the time, because I was dating this guy for like 3 years. So it wasn't just like any boyfriend. Like, I was dating him for 3 years. And I think I was way more heartbroken at the fact that it was her, like my best friend. Like, out of everybody, I was more heartbroken at the fact that she betrayed me, not really him. It was more of her. But fast forward a few months later, she ended up getting pregnant by him. And then maybe I'll say she was like at mid-pregnancy or like towards the end of her pregnancy. I don't know. He messages me on Instagram. And he goes on to say that he wants to have a talk with me because he didn't like how things ended between me and him. And he kind of wants closure. I had then respond back saying, what about Amanda? I've heard she's pregnant. I don't want nothing to do with this. Like, I'm in a better place now, so I don't want to take steps back. But obviously I wanted the closure. So he proceeded to say that they're not together, that yes, he confirmed that she was pregnant, but they're not together, and he wants to just have this closure talk with me. So I said, okay, great. Again, where do I pick you up? Because he had told me that he has a car, but because she's pregnant, he gave her the car. Or he was going to give her the car because she needed the car. So I ended up picking him up. And it's funny because it was a few blocks from where she lived. So I don't know if he like walked there. And yeah, so I don't know how I did not see the red flags, because how did you have me pick you up a few blocks from where she lived? Like, all of this, I feel like I should have known better, but I was stupid. I was blinded. I didn't see the red flags. But I ended up picking him up. We had a long conversation, and during this conversation, like, I did not feel a thing about him. So I feel like this was also something that, like, I needed, because it was so hard for me to move on to a next relationship. Like, I was stuck on that relationship, so I needed this to move on. But when I seen him, I felt nothing. And if anything, I just felt like disgusted even being in the same car as him. But his excuse on why he did what he did with me, why he cheated on me with my best friend, was because he was so upset that I left him high and dry while he was in jail. Mind you, I left him when he was in jail because he was cheating on me. And the girl that he was cheating on me with wouldn't leave me the fuck alone. Like, it was so much drama that he had caused me. And yeah, so again, once he told me that, I was like, you know what? I'm so glad. Like, her getting in between us was a blessing in disguise. Like, you know, your whole situation with her is a hot mess. Like, you still don't even have a job. Like, there is nothing that you could even bring to the table for me at this point. And obviously, I don't want to deal with her. I don't want to deal with baby mama drama. He thought that having this conversation, that me and him were going to get back together. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I thought this was a closure conversation, which is why I accepted to talk to you from the beginning. But that was it. Like, there's nothing more. I don't want nothing to do with this. Like, that was pretty much it. Like, this is the last time that me and you are going to even, like, have this conversation. And few days later, I ended up finding out that he is still with her. He lives with her. So again, like, I am so glad that I trusted my gut instinct, because something was telling me that he wasn't telling me the truth when we had our talk. So yeah, after that, he wouldn't stop blowing me up. I had to change my number because I don't know why I ended up giving him my number. I blocked him on social media. And yeah, this was about 10 years ago. So yeah, again, I am so glad that she came between us, because it was a blessing in disguise. Thanks for listening. Bye. I forgot to mention that this isn't the first friend that he cheated on me with. I didn't find out until we were broken up that there was another girl that he cheated on me with, and this girl specifically lived with me. We took her into our home, her and her son, and she would sneak out behind my back to go see him and, you know, do the nasty things. So this man was for the streets, but because of these experiences, till this day, it's so hard for me to have friends, because I don't trust a soul. Like, I only have 3 friends, and those 3 friends have met my husband, but I just, like, I trust my husband, obviously, but I don't, like, it's so hard for me to trust females because of what I've gone through. And I know that not everyone's the same. I know that we're all grown now, and maybe I hope people change their ways, but like, I could not, I I struggle to make friendships because of that. Like, it's not anything, it's not that any person has, it's not anything personal, it's just me. So like, I see a lot of like girls that, like, I could see myself being friends with, but because of the experiences that I've gone through and like the trust issues that I have, I could not allow these persons into my life. So yeah, I only have 3 friends, and I think that's like pretty much it, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, but because of that, I have trust issues till this day.
Get ready with me while I tell you the story of how my ex of 7 years cheated on me. I have a lot of new faces on here, so I thought I would share this story with you guys. Now I can sit here and laugh about it, and my life has completely changed ever since. I have officially made it to 3 years single. Let's talk about how I got here. For some context, I was in a relationship with my high school sweetheart. We started dating when we were sophomores in high school. We were very much babies, and we were kids at the end of the day. No relationship is perfect. Ours definitely wasn't all rainbows and sunshines. We had many moments where I think both of us should have stepped away, but it is so much easier said than done. Where do we even begin? I remember the day like it was yesterday. It was the week before Valentine's Day. We were sitting in my room, this very room right here, watching the new season of You. Out of nowhere, I get an Instagram message from an old friend of mine. She DMs me and just asks me, hey, are you and, we'll call him Alex, are you and Alex still together? ? And I think as a woman, you just know, like, you know when it's like the hey girl text. And literally, I remember the feeling. I felt like my stomach literally fell to my ass, and I just knew. I knew that what she was about to tell me was not about to be good. And I answered and I said, yeah, why? What's up? She's like, I'm so sorry, but I found your boyfriend on Hinge. Remember, I was so confused because I had no business being on a dating app, so I didn't know anything about dating apps. And she had told me the name of the dating app, but that's how oblivious I was. I was like, what is that? So then she proceeds to tell me it's like a dating app that is like Instagram. So she's talking about Hinge. She sends me his profile, and yeah, nonetheless, it's fucking him. It's him. Everything is up to date. What he was doing at the time as his work, whatever, like the bio, it was all up to date. So that's how I knew, which doesn't even matter. Like, it doesn't matter if it was then, if it was 2 months ago, if it was 2 years ago, like either way, you got caught up, honey. I'm just in disbelief. And I remember I took a second to just really process everything. And then he noticed that something was wrong with me. I remember I was just so mad. Like, I wasn't even like sad. I was just infuriated. He brings up Valentine's Day, and he's like, I'm so excited for Valentine's Day next week. I told him, I don't know about Valentine's Day next week. He then said, what? Like, why? I then respond by saying, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I said because I was pissed. I said, why is some bitch telling me that you are on dating apps? I was pissed. No offense to the girl. She's not a bitch at all. Shout out my girl. If you know, girl. So I said that, and he right away denies it. He's like, no, like, I've never been on dating apps. I don't know what you're talking about. This, and that. I then look at him and I tell him, you know what, Alex, it's over. We're done. It's time. Like, the least that you can do right now is just tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth. Like I said, in that moment when I finally broke up with him, I just felt like there had been so many other things that had happened leading up to this point, and I was mentally checked out. So I was ready. Once I found that out, I was like, okay, like, there's no more chances to be given. This is it. Then it tells me that he has been on one dating app and that it was a long time ago. When I brought up the dating app to him, I did not tell him what the dating app was called because we as women are just so fucking smart. Let me just tell you that. I just wanted to see if he would tell me the dating app that the girl sent me. Remember, the dating app was Hinge. I then asked him, okay, what what dating app was it? 9 times out of 10, if a girl is asking you a question, she already knows the fucking answer, so just tell the truth. He then answers and he says Tinder. He got caught up. Multiple dating apps. He was on multiple dating apps at this point. So then I'm even more fucking pissed. I tell him, what the fuck? I show him the picture of the dating app that the girl sent me, and I said, I was talking about Hinge. And then I told him, I was like, so you were on multiple dating apps. And in that conversation, he just swore up and down that nothing ever came from it. And like I said earlier, I was so done at this point. He had done multiple things in the past to ruin trust, and I had given him chance after chance after chance. And so for me, like, it wasn't even the act of him physically being with another person, which to this day I don't know, but it was just the fact that he betrayed me like that. He betrayed my trust. He made me look dumb. Like, I had a friend asking me if I was still together with this guy. Like, that's so embarrassing, and he's over here on dating apps. So it didn't matter to me when he was using the dating app, if he met anybody on a dating app. It didn't matter. It was just the fact that he cheated, you know? And after that, I respectfully told him that I never wanted to see him again, and that I never wanted to speak to him again. And I have gone complete no contact from that man who was in my life for 7 years. I was to go no contact with this person because I knew that with the history that we had, if I spoke to him ever after that point, that it would just be so much harder for me to completely detach myself. This was somebody I grew up with. This was somebody who I was a child with, then grew into an adult with. And it was something so difficult to walk away from, but yet so powerful. As a woman, I think sometimes we feel like we have to stay and we have no choice but to just work things out. And everybody's situation is completely different. In that moment, I knew that it was time for me to walk away, and that if I didn't walk away, that my life was just gonna not turn out the way that I wanted it to turn out. So I chose to walk away. And I have not been happier since. If you want to hear a little bit more about what life has been like since, then go to part 2.
But why did no one ever tell me that being alone makes you want to be more alone, and then it literally gets so addicting to the point where you start avoiding people? I'm sorry, but you bitches who need company 24/7, you can't do anything alone, you can't go anywhere alone. Y'all are embarrassing. It's giving I don't like myself and I can't be with myself because I'm scared the voices in my head are gonna be mean to me.
Let's talk about something juicy, like how I got cheated on. Yay! And honestly, buckle in because I am not holding back on the details. We're starting in 2021, the golden year of all of my drama, I feel. Now, a lot of you might know this, but I dated a public YouTuber. Like, I had a public relationship with a YouTuber, and we ended things early 2021. And even though we ended things, well, especially because we ended things on good terms and the relationship was just kind of fading, like, it wasn't like a big thing where like we needed a lot of time to process and move on, you know what I mean? So we lived together for like a couple months, and then I moved out. And I had gone on a few dates, and then I met somebody. Now, because of that past relationship and the fact that it was just so in the public eye, and that just like I felt like was a little bit too much for me, I wanted somebody who was like out of that kind of realm of things. I wanted somebody who was normal and nice. Enter my ex. We hit it off, and he heavily pursues me, okay? To the point, like, I almost felt a little suffocated at some point. Looking back, I'm like, what a love bomber. Oh my God. And I had experienced, you know, like the excitement of meeting somebody and like the first few months, like y'all are just like, you know, like this, you know what I mean? But this was different. This man would show up to places I was just to hang out with me. He wanted to spend every second together. And that's not a bad thing, you know? And I'm somebody who like, I can be a little clingy. I also get excitable when I start dating somebody, and like, I want to be around them all the time. This is important for later because he was a stage 5 clinger in the beginning. And I think it was around this time, like within the first like month, I was like, I think I need more time to process my
break up with that other person and just like everything going on. Like, I think this is too fast. I was also not mentally doing well. I was so depressed. And so I actually decided to call it quits with him. And I tried to explain to him, like, it's not you. the spiel of like, it's not you, it's me. Okay, but it's like, I call it womanly intuition, but like, I feel like I just knew something was like off. But I break up with him. I'm like, it's really nothing to do with you. Like, I think this is just like moving a little too fast, and I think I'm in a really bad mental state, and I don't want to drag you into this. He takes it like well, I guess. But like within a week, I like am like, I'm so sorry. Actually, you know what? I don't want to throw away something that I think could be potentially like long term. You are an amazing guy, and I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry for getting cold feet. I did not mean that. Let's get back together. He is obviously like, yes, let's get back together. But there was about 10 days where we were broken up. Still talking, but broken up, okay? Now keep in mind, during this 10 days, I FaceTimed him, okay? He was like at a friend's birthday party. And I FaceTimed him, and him and I were talking. Keep that in mind. That's gonna come back later. So we're back together, and things are going great. Like, things are going so good. Now we're both clingy. Like, we're spending every day together. We're like inseparable. He is so nice. Like, and he just wants to spend all his time with me, and I'm like, this is amazing. I thought it was weird though. One of the first times I ever came over to his house, he had a roommate, right? And my ex and I were just like on the couch talking, and the roommate like comes in and like sees me and like slams the door and like kind of like throws a little tantrum. A man, by the way. To which I'm like, is everything okay? And he's like, oh yeah, no, like, he's just a little jealous that I've been spending so much time with you. Things are going suspiciously well. And then about 6 months in, I notice a really big like shift from him, okay? I notice, actually, let me clarify something. So I don't do hookups. Like, one time in my life. Like, it's just my thing. Like, listen, to each their own. Like, girl, you do what you want. Like, I'm supportive of it. But like, me personally, I don't really like doing anything outside of a relationship. That was like especially a thing back then. Part of it is like, I have a big thing about STDs, okay? I personally just like, it freaks me out. Like, I cannot do it. Genuinely terrifies me. So just keep that in mind. So anyways, 6 months into the relationship, he starts like switching up, and he's like acting a lot different. And we're like starting to argue, and I don't know, like, things are weird. And he also was a car salesperson. Red flag, red flag, red flag. But I'm not really like thinking much of it. Then he throws a party, and some like people he knew from high school came, and there was one guy, his friend, and he brought his girlfriend, and the girlfriend brought a couple of her friends. Now we're all just like sitting, and she's like, so how long have you guys been together? And I was like, 6 months. And she's like, oh, like, it seems like he's like really changed for you. And I'm like, what do you mean by changed? And she's like, oh, you know, because he like, you know, kind of used to be like, you know, a little promiscuous, to say the least. That wasn't her choice of words, but like, you get what she was trying to say. I love hearing that. And the way she said it too was just like, so like, girl, ew. So that ruined my mood, to say the least. I actually I went into the other room, called and FaceTimed my friend, and I was like, girl, how do I process this? And she goes, what? I actually ended up going home. My ex was like, where did you go? And I was like, yeah, so like, what was that? And he's all like, okay, screw her. Like, she doesn't know me, like, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't know anything about me. He gets like really mad at this girl. He unfollows her and like removes her as a follower. And like, there's some like, I don't know, there's something there, you know what I mean? But I'm like, yeah, you know what? Naive me thinking like, yeah, who is this girl to be talking about you like that and making me uncomfortable? And I stand by that. Like, if she was trying to make a point, she could have pulled me aside girl to girl and been like, hey, like, just so you know, your boyfriend kind of has this history. But she didn't do that. She was like next to her friends like, glad he changed for you. So, like, I stand by the fact that, like, girl, you could have handled that better. And I was also, like, a little happy at the time, looking back, not so much, but at the time I was like, yeah, thank you, my ex, for getting defensive, because what was that made me so uncomfortable? It's also around this time that I'm introduced to like another one of his guy friends who has a girlfriend, okay? And we started like hanging out a little bit, like, you know, the four of us, whatever, occasionally. And I actually like really liked her at first. So now we're like 8 months into the relationship, and like I noticed that there is like just such a huge shift. We're arguing all the time. Like he just seems like so, first off, 100% he was still in love with his ex, and they had been broken up for like 2 years. Like he still had like, it wasn't just like pictures of her on his profile. Like he had like a whole, like, you know when you do like a whole like 9 grid post picture, okay? He had one of her, to which I was like, why do you still have that? You know, it's one thing to have like a group photo with your ex or something like that, but like, or like, you know, whatever. Why is half of your Instagram a picture of your ex-girlfriend? One picture. And he was like, I like that photo. Like, that got so mad that I was like, please, could you maybe take that down? That's like a little embarrassing for me. He like fights tooth and nail to take it down, but eventually he takes it down. But you can tell he's just like so resentful of the fact that like I asked him to take it down. And now I'm starting to really full-fledged get retroactive jealousy over his girlfriend. By the way, I've said this before, but if you start getting retroactive jealousy over like your partner's ex, I'm willing to bet the root cause a lot of times, at least in my situation, is that person not doing enough to like make you feel special or like, you know, reassure you. You know what I mean? Like I really do feel like your intuition knows. And I also, listen, I really don't like if I feel negative emotions towards other women, especially because it's like we all have a past, we all have exes, like whatever. I was like really starting to get like angry over the fact that he dated her before. And there's nothing, by the way, her and I are friends now. We'll get there. But she was genuinely like, just seemed like the sweetest girl. And I was just like, I hated her. I didn't even know her and I hated her. But it's because like my boyfriend was obviously still in love with her. And I'd hear it like all the time from his friends, like, oh man, when they broke up, he was like so heartbroken. Like he was not okay, blah, blah, blah. So let's talk about this because this is a very important part of the story. And I'm also going to end, this is part 1. I'm going to try and upload these like right after each other. So sorry, I have to split it up. Here's the second installment of how I got serial cheated on. Picking up right where we left off. He's like in love with his ex and I'm feeling so retroactively jealous. So first and foremost, like he never could line up his story on why him and his ex broke up, or rather why she dumped him out of nowhere. His story was that she's from Italy, by the way. She says she went to Italy for like 2 weeks. And when she came back, she walked in the door and just dumped him out of nowhere. There was no warning signs or anything. He even went as far to say as she cheated on him. And of course, when he says that, I'm like, elaborate. How did she cheat? And he'd be like, well, she took a group photo with somebody she dated before while she was there. Like a group photo that like an ex from middle school was there. He also said that while she was in Italy, that she just wasn't responding to his text messages and like she posting on her story and everything, but not responding to him. And I'm like, what did you do? Like, I'm a girl. Do you think I'm dumb? Do you think I don't understand how a girl's brain works? What did you do to make her so upset that she was not talking to you? Now, he always said, nothing, I don't know. Like, she just cheated on me, blah, blah, blah. And then one day, because he loved to trickle truth throughout our entire relationship, one day he tells me, well, before, like right when she left, I hung out with some coworkers. And I'm like, a girl coworker? He's like, well, a girl was there. And I was like, And I asked him, I was like, well, did your ex have a thing about like that? You know, was that a concern in your relationship? He goes, I mean, like a little, but like blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. So like, and now I'm starting, like the detective brain is starting to, everything's coming together. I'm like, okay, so it makes sense. Like, I'm thinking maybe he did something. And I want to believe my boyfriend at the time, but I'm also like, kind of like, what? Something is really fishy here. And I even know this like coworker's name because he told me, right? Well, later on, we're talking about it again, about, you know, why him and his ex broke up. And then I'm like, well, what about like when he hung out with that coworker? And he goes, what are you talking about? That didn't happen. So you didn't go to a bonfire with a female coworker while your girlfriend was on vacation? Because where do you think that came from? Do you think I just made that up? Do you think I just know this female coworker's name because I'm making it up? Like, hello, you told me. But he's like, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Classic of him. And then I am also like, I would ask him like, was there any warning signs? And he would just recant a lot of statements that came when it came to his ex. He also like made it seem like both of his ex-girlfriends just up and dumped him. The one from high school and his ex of like 4 years. Just up and left him and pretty much like ghosted him. And he basically made it out to seem like both of them cheated on him. Also, I know for a fact the one he dated for 4 years did not cheat on him. Because we're friends now. So I'm trying to tell this like chronologically, but I know a lot of information after the fact. But let's get into around winter, springtime. So like 8 months into the relationship, we're arguing all the time. And there's just such a huge shift. He went from love bombing to like, you know, we're pretty much living together at this point, and he's just like so resentful of me for something, okay? And I can't quite figure it out. Around this time too, I start working for another YouTuber. And just like for doing prank videos, and at the time, genuinely, like I thought what a fun thing to do. That's a whole nother story for another day if I ever even want to talk about it publicly. But one thing about me is I'm not a cheater, okay? So I'm here, like I'm thinking, how much fun is this that I get to like do pranks and like have fun for a living and get paid? And my ex like seemed supportive of it, but there was just so many times that I felt like he hated me because of it. And here's the thing, like I'm all for like set boundaries in a relationship, talk about things, be open with things. Like we don't have, you know what I mean? And I would try to talk to him and be like, you know, like, how do you actually feel about this? Because I could always tell, because he was super passive aggressive when he was jealous of something. And like, that's okay. Let's talk about it. If something's making you uncomfortable, like compromise is everything. But he would always be like, nah, it's cool. Like, it's fine. You're good. Don't worry about it. And I'd be like, okay, well, if you're truly okay with it, then I'm going to continue working for this other YouTuber. And I know a lot of people think that I dated said YouTuber, but never. Like, I truly was like pretty much most of the time in a relationship. So I just want to clear that up. I was never like intimate or anything with this YouTuber. Obviously, going back to my previous statement where I don't really do hookup. So I'm starting to really feel like resentment from my ex-boyfriend at this point. And I'm trying so hard to work through it with him, and he does not want to talk about it. But at one point he posted on his story, like while I was at work, he posted on his story the song Run Around Sue. Like I could tell immediately that he's implying that I'm like cheating on him, and that he's like pissed because I'm working with other dudes. Hello? But I'm trying to take the high road at this point. I'm like, maybe he just likes the song, like whatever. If he had an issue, he would come to me, right? And we would be able to communicate. Also around this time, he's talking about getting matching tattoos, and like it goes between love bombing and being like obsessed with me, and to like then just on a random day just like pulling back and like arguing with me, and like genuinely at points I'm like what do you not like me as a person? Then one night we go on a date, and I'm like, let's get a drink afterwards, and we go out to a bar, and genuinely I communicate to him, just one drink, I'm kind of tired, so like then we can just go home and you know, stay in for the night. Anyways, we run into earlier in the past part, remember when I said there was another couple that we were friends with and I really liked the girlfriend at first? This night changed everything. My ex is an alcoholic. Seriously, to this day. He still has an issue with substance abuse. He literally cannot go a day without being sober. And this was a huge problem in our relationship, especially around this time where he is a very mean drunk. Very mean drunk. And back then, like, I didn't even really drink much. Maybe once in a blue moon, like, I get a drink here and there, okay? Like this night. So I didn't really know like the warning signs and like how to really identify an alcoholic, because his thing was lying about when he was drunk. And so many times looking back, I'm like, wow, this dude was drunk every single day. And he would literally like pick me up and like ride his motorcycle and like drive around town just like full on drunk, and put me in some like kind of awkward situations. And then I'd be like, are you drunk? And he'd literally be like, no, I'm not drunk, like waving back and forth. So we run into this couple and they start hanging out with us, and that's fine at first. Like I'm cool with that. Like, hello, I love people. But then he starts drinking more and more, and like, I forget what it was exactly, but he says something that annoys me. I've already like said multiple times now, like, I'm ready to go home. Like, I really want to go home. And I also don't want to deal with him being drunk. And I'm kind of like not annoyed at this couple, but I'm so annoyed about being there. It has nothing to do with the other couple. But like, I was ready. And my ex would not leave. And I can just tell, by the way, he's on his phone texting. And then she would pick up her phone and they would text. You know when you can tell when people are talking about you, like texting about you? Yeah, that was my ex and his friend's girlfriend. And I actually see it over my shoulder. And at this point, I'm like, all right, great. I really want to go home now. And I really want to chew into him. I'm not trying to do it publicly, but I'm ready. I'm ready. He goes to the bathroom and I am so fed up. I get up and I just walk out. I said, hold on, I need to step outside for a second. And I just leave. I go to the next bar, run into some old high school friends. Like, I'm talking to them, I'm catching up with them. Then some time goes by, his friend finds me, the boyfriend, and he's like, oh my God, he's so worried about you. Like, he loves you so much. Like, will you please come out and just talk to him and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay. So I actually find them at the next bar. My ex is now obliterated drunk at this point. Obliterated drunk. He is full on having a drink in his hand. Mind you, he's driving home. So at this point, I literally see it, and I think I literally just take it out of his hand, and I'm like, can you stop drinking? Like, you're literally driving home. And I'm not being nice at this point. To which the other couple's like, now this is like May 20th, okay? We get home and we get into a huge fight. To which I'm like, give me your phone. And normally I'm against going through people's phones. Like, I really hate doing it. I prefer not to. But I knew he was texting her. So I was like, show me what you were saying. And we'll get into part 3 now. Part 3 of how I got serial cheated on. This is a really good part because now it's really starting to come together. So I'm like, give me your phone. You were obviously talking crap about me to this girl. Like, texting it on the phone while I'm sitting right there. So I get his phone. If I can find it, by the way, I'll insert it here, but I might have deleted it at this point. I'm sorry. So then I'm reading the texts, okay, between them. And she's basically talking crap and like literally lying, by the way. She was like, she's giving me dirty. She was saying that I was giving her dirty looks. Her and her boyfriend dirty looks every time that like they were like giggling and stuff, that I was giving her a dirty look for it. And my ex was saying like, I just wish like I was single again, like blah, blah, blah. So anyways, we're in the car and I'm literally, oh my God, I literally see this and like, what is this? You want to be single? You want to be single? And he's like, no, I don't want to be single. Like, I don't know why I said that, like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I want to be clear about 2 things, okay? Never, ever, ever let somebody lie on my name like that. And also, don't you ever be talking smack about our relationship to another woman. Because I liked this girl. And I was actually so upset at her. And I actually do think, if I remember correctly, I may have texted her too. Oop, I found the screenshot. Let's talk about it. I actually texted her this. And that was me trying to be like nice. That was me trying to be nice because I didn't want to seem like, you know, maybe she did make it, like maybe I looked like I rolled my eyes at her. I wasn't going to like take that away. Obviously, in hindsight, I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I did not roll my fucking eyes at her. Like, I was definitely annoyed at my ex-boyfriend. I wasn't annoyed at her. So anyways, I say this. This is my ex's phone and what they were saying about me at the table. Keep in mind, her and I got along. What in the freaking pick me were her texts to him? I'll be the bad guy and say it. Girl, shut up. Obviously, I tell my ex-boyfriend, I'm like, you're not friends with her anymore. You're not talking to her anymore. What a violation. Also, like, gotta take some accountability here. Like, why did I read that text exchange where my ex literally says he wants to break up with me, he wants to be single, and I was like, no, he didn't mean that. We get into a huge blowout argument, okay? And he literally, the next day is like, let's get matching tattoos. Another time with this couple, actually, and why that girl was insecure about her boyfriend. But my ex and him, the boyfriend, went out one night and didn't get home till 4 a.m. He comes home obliterated drunk. I'm like, where have you been? I was literally like asleep when he came home. I had no issue with him like going out with a buddy and getting a few drinks. I had an issue that it was 4 a.m. He's stumbling in the house absolutely drunk. And I'm like, where did you go? He was at a club till 3 a.m. And then he did something illegal, which was climbing one of those huge construction cranes. Drunk. As a person that cared about him, I was like, are you stupid? Looking back, he probably cheated on me that night anyways. And like, maybe, I don't know. But he definitely climbed that crane too because he had pictures. And then he was like upset that I was annoyed at that. I'm sorry, am I supposed to think you're just so cool? Am I supposed to just like be like, oh my god, you're so cool? I decided to take a little break from recording this series. I'm starting to feel like kind of nauseous and like sweating talking about it. So a little insert before we continue on. Someone asked like if I'm engaged, and I say I don't care. I don't care if he's dating somebody else now. I don't lurk him. I don't keep tabs on him. I very much am still affected by this. It's still literally like I'll start shaking. I'm shaking. It was a very traumatizing experience. And it's taken me a year since I broke up with him to even talk about this really online. I've only ever kind of made jokes and alluded to it. So I just wanted to like add that in. I'm deeply affected by how this person treated me, but I don't care like what he's up to these days. Okay, yeah. Now, since this text exchange with this girl, I'm like really starting to like feel like I need to go through his phone. And again, I do not like doing that. But I also, and this is also very unlike me, I start going through his following and seeing like all the girls he follows and all the girls that follow him. Like I'm full-fledged like insecure in this relationship now. And I'm not like really telling him, I'm just like feeling this way. Like I remember talking to my friend and being like, I feel like I should go through his phone. And my friend was like, if you feel like you need to, you know, like don't ignore that feeling. But I didn't. I did not go through his phone. Just that one time in the car when he was texting about me to that one girl and I asked for his phone, he gave it to me. Side note too, I was friends with another girl who had a friend, one of her best friends, that was previously intimate with my ex-boyfriend prior to us getting together. And my friend came to me and was just kind of like, hey, just so you know, like your boyfriend has a reputation. And I should have taken her word, but I didn't. My ex-boyfriend also, and don't be wrong, like me and this girl, like our friendship was ready to end for a lot of reasons, but my ex hated her and like of course wanted me to stop talking to her. So if I don't seem like as like, you know, excitable as like the beginning of the series, it's because I think it's really starting to hit me like how traumatizing this was. Around this time too, he actually quits his job as a car salesperson and he gets another job doing some sort of like, I don't even know how to explain it, like some sort of office job. And we're like living together at this point, and so I know like exactly when he gets off. I know exactly like what time. It would be around like 6:22 he would get home p.m. He didn't have a car, he only had a motorcycle, so a lot of times I would also drive him to work. In the beginning of our relationship too, I had 2 vehicles. I had a Porsche and then I had a truck. And because I had 2 and he didn't have a car, I literally lent him my truck so that he could use it to get to work. Now it's like May and I really like feel like something is off. At one point he was telling me about his day at this new job and he's showing me pictures, and I see a picture in his phone where it's him laying on the floor at work with like all his coworkers, and like next to him is a girl. Okay. And I'm really trying not to like, I can't tell if it's in my head or like what, and I'm not trying to fight with him anymore, so I let it go and I don't ask about it. Some time goes by. It is now May 24th, and let me tell you something about this picture. I'll never delete it. I'll never delete it because a woman's intuition. I just got these Alpha Elite leggings. Okay, and I was so excited. I was trying them on. I was like obviously taking a photo in them, whatnot. He was at work. He texted me this day and he's like, hey, I'm gonna grab a couple beers with my coworker, you know, and then I'll be home. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm like super excited to see him and show him my new leggings. So keep in mind, I said he gets home around 6:22 every single day. He gets home at like 6:45. And I'm like, I thought you were gonna go grab some beers with your coworker. He goes, oh, I did. And I was like, okay. That's a quick beer. Also, it was our thing that I would jump into his arms every single day when he'd get home from work. He would get home and I would jump into his arms and we would hug. I have the nose of a bloodhound because when I jump into his arms and I get a whiff of him, his pheromones smells like, how do I put this? When someone is in the mood, they like their pheromones smell a little bit different. And if you're with somebody for a prolonged period of time, like, you might recognize what that scent smells like. You might know that smell. He smelled like schmecks. You can smell it right here on the nape of his neck. I will never forget this, by the way. Literally, like, I see this picture and I'm like, it floods back to me. I literally, because my other ex used to, like, this used to happen, and I was always like, I'm crazy, it's in my head. Like, what a crazy thing. Seriously, like, this is insane. I don't say anything. I know that sounds crazy, okay? So I don't say anything to him. A couple weeks go by. I post a video on TikTok talking about, I never used to want kids, and then I changed my mind. I made a video on TikTok saying, like, now that I'm with somebody I really like, I could see myself having kids. I want to have kids with them. Oh boy, did I not know that video. That video was the catalyst. Anyways, going on to part 4.
If you notice that Susie's a little melancholy today, it's because her cat died last night. Charlotte hit me on the playground today. I'm so melancholy about it. Do you ever feel so melancholy about being melancholy?
Get ready with me. So I already started, but I did my own nails with my little sister's like stuff that she got sent from Beatles. Her account's like Ava Vu or something. I made a haul what she got from Beatles on there, and I used her stuff. I have a party to go tomorrow, and it's like neon themed, and I'm really excited. So these nails will match that, and they're actually the same exact color as my bikini, so they're like perfect. We've been hanging out with the same group of people for like the last probably like 5 days in a row, and like my sister, she's been hanging out with them for like the whole summer, but I just started hanging out with the group, and they're like the funniest fucking people alive, bro. Like, oh my gosh, I think that just because like they're stupid, like I don't really know. But like one of the things I did was we pierced like all of their ears because it was like 3 in the morning. We were just bored. We pierced their ears. We pierced like the twins' ears, and then this guy like I just met. And tell me why the twins, they both took them out before they took a shower because they thought it was gonna rust. So now we have to re-pierce them. I don't know if they still want us to re-pierce them, but I know today we're gonna dye their hair. I don't know, they just turned 18 and I guess they want to customize their character. I just ordered the LYS like bronzer stick, and I'm excited to use it because right now I'm using the Satchu one, however you say it, because I had like their lip products and it's alright. It's not like the best bronzer, so I'm excited to try the LYS one. And then for concealers, I usually use the L'Oreal one because I saw this on TikTok and I heard everyone says it's like really good for like the drugstore one. And then I got this Patrick Ta one, but this one actually smells so bad and it's like not good coverage. Like, and it's like the same color. I need something that's lighter, and it smells like barbecue sauce. Like, it smells so bad. So we're gonna stick to L'Oreal because it's actually my shade. But I just ordered the Kosas concealer, so hopefully it comes in soon because this one's pretty good, but it's not my favorite. Like, it works. Jasmine said that she wants my Patrick Ta, but I want it for the aesthetics, so she cannot have it. We have a group chat, and we look, you just hit each other up, like, hey, like, what are we doing today? But yesterday we didn't do anything, so I guess yesterday was a break, and then today we're all gonna hang out, and then tomorrow we're all gonna go to the party. I think we're gonna go to their snow cone truck, because they, like, own it, and they said that me and Hope can work it, or, like, work with them. So I'm happy for that. Because I'm low-key, like, over being a lifeguard. Like, it's just, like, kind of boring. Like, I'm a socialized person. Like, I need to be, like, with people, like, all times. Like, I just, like, don't like sitting, like, on stand, like, in my own thoughts. Like, it's really terrible. Like, I hate it so much. Okay, I just want to talk about this setting spray. This is probably the best setting spray that I've ever had. Like, it's actually waterproof. It makes my makeup stay all day. This is the one I'm pretty sure, like, the makeup artists use. And that's why I got it. This is the brand. I'll have it linked right here, but literally the best. I just sprayed it. Look how, like, fresh and, like, it just blends, like, all my powders and creams together and makes it look so good. Anyways, that's all for today's GRWM. Hope everyone has an amazing and blessed day.